Welcome back, everyone, to part 4 of Pawn Wars. Today we're going to be talking about the Queen. The Queen has some similarities of all the other pieces that we've already learned. Let's look at them. Pawn moves straight, but it can capture diagonal. The bishop moves diagonal, like an X, in 4 directions. The rook also moves in 4 directions, but in straight lines. The Queen can move like every one of these pieces. It can go up and down, left, right, and on the diagonal. Just like the bishop and the rook, the queen can also go as far as it wants. So if I wanted to go all the way to a3, I can do that. If I want to just come down here to c1, I can go there too. So notice the queen moves like all of the pieces we've already learned, because you can just add the bishop and rook together and you have the queen. Just like the bishop and rook, the queen cannot jump over any other pieces. The queen is worth 9 points, so think of a rook and a bishop put together. So you have 5 points plus 3 points. That's 8, but it's all in one piece, so that would make 9. Or you can just add these 3 together. 5 plus 3 plus 1 is 9. So you have all those. That's why a queen is worth that, because it's all in one piece. When you set up your board in Pawn Wars, you'll notice that the queen is on the center squares. One way to remember this, the royal pieces always go to the center. So the queen would come here and the king would go there. So d1 and e1, or d8 and e8. How you know which side the queen goes on, just remember, the queen always goes on the same color. So if I have a light queen, it goes on the light square. If I have a dark queen, it goes on the dark square. That's an easy way to help you remember. Another way to think of it is the queen likes to match her shoes. The king, we don't care if we match, but the queen does. If you were to play Pawn Wars, because we are already set up on the D file, this makes things really simple. We're not going to go too big into this one, because we've already supported it right here. So just like the rook, when we move to D1, the queen could do the same thing. And same if you wanted to go in another direction. So if I played e4 and my opponent did something a little bit different, I can protect it just like a bishop as well. I'm already protecting with the queen. So the queen's able to shoot up and protect our pawn. So if he recaptures, I can do the same. This is how it would look if we decided to play another game of Pawn Wars using all of our pieces so far. If this is too confusing, play the queen with just the bishop, then play the queen with just the rook, and then add all 3 pieces and play another game, and slowly learn how to work them all together if you need to do so. One last thing as a reminder, in normal chess, this is where all the pieces start. Rook's in the corner, bishops on C and F, or 3 over, queens in the center on their own color. A lot of people forget this one, but that's very important. Queens start on their own color in Pawn Wars and in normal chess. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in part 5.